name is Leanne.
I'm Audrey.
I'm Spencer.
And I'm Elaine.
And our focus question is,
What were the reasons for European exploration and conquest of new nations? And what kind of technologies did the Europeans use to achieve their goals between 1450 to 1550?
Portuguese mariners also developed vessels appropriate for voyages of long-distance exploration. This was called the caravel, which is much smaller than the large European ships, the Chinese junks, or the galleys in the Mediterranean. These new boats allowed them to withstand ocean storms and maneuver through waters more efficiently and quickly. Queen Isabella, I have a brilliant idea.
what's your idea?
I will sail west from Europe to approach India from the east to bring us new riches and glory.
Be sure to bring us vast riches so that we would be able to compete with Portugal in exploration. I will bestow you the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria so that you would be able to sail. Now go and discover new lands, new converted people, and new riches. Go forth, Christopher Columbus.
Thank you. Christopher Columbus was of Italian descent and was employed by the monarchy of Spain to sail the ocean in order to reach India. However, the land he sailed to in 1492 was actually undiscovered land later to be known as the Americas. Even though his voyage was unsuccessful, Columbus sparked the interests of other mariners to begin sailing and exploring the seas, thus beginning the Maritime Revolution.
To analyze Christopher Columbus's motives for exploring outside of Europe, our group has chosen the document called Letter from Christopher Columbus to Louis de Saint Angel announcing his discovery, which was written in 1493. It is our primary source because it is a letter written from Christopher Columbus himself to de Saint Angel, who was the treasurer of Aragon that funded his expedition. This document supports the idea that Europeans were motivated by ideas of gold, natural resources, and natives to convert to Christianity. Finding natural resources that aren't native to Europeans was a common goal. In the second paragraph of this letter, Christopher Columbus appears to favor Hispaniola, an island in which he named himself. Columbus speaks in favor of the island's fruits, trees, and soil fertility, which is great for new settlements. Native Americans did not have a particular religion, however, they did believe in heaven. Therefore, the Europeans thought that they would make easy converts. However, that was not the case. In conclusion, many went to the New World to explore and find new exotic goods. After Vasco da Gama sailed around the tip of Africa and into the Indian Ocean, he was able to open a way for Portugal to trade within the rich trade barriers of the Indian Ocean. Portugal was then able to assert control over the Indian Ocean trade due to its superiority over the ships and weapons over those of the regional powers. The lightly armed merchant dhows especially helped them trade more effectively.
The Europeans who arrived in America eventually proved extremely detrimental to the Native Americans. After initial contact and interaction with one another, the Europeans attempted to spread their religion to the nearby natives in an attempt to convert them. If the natives did not comply with the new religion of Christianity, the Europeans inflicted violence upon the natives, including mass executions as well as enslaving them. The Europeans were also responsible for the infecting of other Native Americans with lethal diseases such as smallpox and measles.
After the European arrival and continued exploration of the New World starting in the 1500s, the population in the Americas drastically changed. While the non-Native American population remained stagnant, the Native American population of North America severely declined. In the year 1500, right when European explorers began interacting with the natives of the Americas, the native population was around 7 million. However, only 50 years later, the native population was only 4.5 million, which meant that 36% of the native population was decimated. There were many causes for this extreme drop in population, all linked to the interactions between the natives and the Europeans. Many natives died in the European conquest of their empires, such as the Incas and the Aztecs. However, the factor that killed off most of the natives was disease. Trading interactions between the two parties led to the native contraction of European diseases such as smallpox and measles. The Native Americans were so horrifically affected by European diseases mainly due to the fact that the Americas did not have the same work animals as Europe. So then the natives were never exposed to the diseases and never had a chance to build up immunities. The reason why the European population remained stagnant was because the Americas were not home to diseases that could affect Europeans, for the only beast of burden was the llama.
In order to complete Columbus's voyage, Magellan sailed around the Americas and across the Pacific on behalf of the King of Spain in 1519. Magellan was considered to be the first person to sail around the world because a decade earlier, he sailed from Europe to the East Indies as part of an expedition sponsored by Portugal. However, Magellan wasn't able to make it back to Portugal because he was killed in the Philippines before he was able to fully circumnavigate the world. Since his crew made it around the world, Magellan is still credited for being the first person to circumnavigate the globe.
The Treaty of Tordesillas was an agreement signed on June 7, 1494 by both Spain and Portugal, aiming to settle the conflicts they had over the lands that their explorers newly discovered. The Spanish and the Portuguese had a huge dispute between who got which part of the newly discovered land, and in order to settle this disagreement, a pope named Alexander IV issued to set up a line called the Line of Demarcation in order to split the lands. Portuguese got what was east of the line, while Spain got what was west of the line. However, no one was able to occupy the territory that was already ruled by a Christian ruler. Portugal eventually realized that Spain was the one who got the better half of the deal, and the placement of the line threatened their exploration routes around Africa. Spain benefited greatly from the Line of Tordesillas. They got Mesopotamia, which included the lands of the Aztecs, and the Andean South America, which included the Incas. These lands contained much wealth, such as gold and silver.
Can I try it? I think it's sorry, like.
Yeah, this is good, but Leanne's face is still like.
It's okay.
really
I want to
bright.
be the bright one.
Okay. Oh,
Wait! Okay, so...
oh, sure.
And I'm stuck.